I just wanted to share something about a thing that might shape the way you focus. And if you're not doing this already, I would highly encourage it. And this is a concept that I understood about attention. And I read the Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, a few weeks back. And I discovered this term called attention residue. And the person responsible for this effect is Dr. Sophie Leroy, a University of Washington School of Business professor. And in a 2009 article, or not article, more of a paper, it was titled, "Why is it so hard to do my work?" And in this article, paper rather, it was talking about attention residue, which happens when you go from task A to task B in rapid succession, therefore having a lot of cognitive overload. So you're overwhelmed and you don't have the right amount of attention you need to a specific task. So near this time she conducted a study to prove this concept in her lab, where she had two groups of people. So the first group, they were tasked to do a set of word puzzles, and then mid-task, she interrupted them to do uh, resume reading for hypothetical hiring decisions within the lab. And then the second group, they were tasked to do the same tasks, same two tasks, but she allowed them to finish the previous task before moving on to the next. And there was some space in between that time to go from one task to the next. And after performing some lexical decision games between these tasks for each group, it was clear which group had the better performance for the next task ahead. And if it wasn't clear enough, it would be the second group, which was able to go from one task to the other without interruption. So, how can we apply this to our own work or into our own day? And my suggestion is to consider time blocking certain tasks and separate tasks so you don't mix them up and have them overlay, um, because that way you're going to have full attention towards your goals or your tasks throughout the day for your work or for your personal life, that you're just able to get a lot more done in less time because you have a lot better attention. So I'm going to share with you something um, that might help, and it is my calendar and how I organize my day. And it's not perfect, but it does represent how I structure certain pieces of my day to show what is more important. So you can somewhat replicate this. It might depend on your personal needs, but I want you to just envision this for a moment. So this is ultimately how I schedule my day, and I normally schedule my working hours from about 7 to 5. That's generally the time frame in which I work. Sometimes I'll work a little bit later depending on what I need to get done, but this is how I organize my day, and I just try to separate tasks so they don't overlap each and every time, so that I can perform at my best within each of these tasks. So for the first set of tasks I do throughout my day, so 7 to 8 a.m., I commit to deep work and deliver. So if I need to solve a specific problem for a community member, if I want to work on something for the community, then I will commit to this time to deliver, to build out a course, or to help a specific problem for one of my community members. For example, Joseph reached out to me, understanding that he had a problem with specific things. One thing being, he uses Instagram as a way of gathering filmmaking inspiration, but he also gets distracted when he is on Instagram because there's a lot of unrelated things on Instagram that could take up his time and attention. So I wanted to commit to this time to deliver on a specific problem by delivering on an Instagram operating procedure and where I wanted to commit to this time to help him with this specific problem and commit to an hour or two with that. And next, I would move on to my content writing and my engagement to attract an audience. or attract people into the community. So I'd say from about 8 to 10 a.m. I will start my content writing before I even step into social media. So I do my content writing first. I schedule out everything before I step into social media. So this task alone is going to allow me to perform at my best and produce the best quality of work before I do the next task. After that, I will engage with my audience. It doesn't require a whole lot of brain power to engage with people. I wouldn't consider this some more my shallow work, but it's important nonetheless for a business to or a community to attract people into your stuff. So if you're trying to commit to a certain amount of time to bring people into your communities or to your business, then you need to set aside a time and a specific task within your day to do this and nothing else. Right? The important thing is to not overlay or overlap certain tasks with each other. And then I'll separate that task by doing breakfast, eating my breakfast, and hygiene, brush my teeth, all that. And then I'll go back for another hour of attract, which is more engagement. And again, that's how I follow my day, workout and lunch. And then I commit to an hour or two of community fulfillment. So if I'm DMing members or making a community post, then that I will commit to that time for that. And then by that time, I'm kind of wrapping my day. If I need to consume certain things that help me with learning certain topics, such as reading a book, if there are certain problems that I need to solve that I don't understand yet, then I will consume with intent. So like consume quality, like from the best sources, searching for what I need. This is not going to be every day, but this is just a general structure throughout my day, so it's not always going to be following this. But that's how I normally organize my day, by separating tasks. So if this is something that you haven't done already, if you tend to split your attention across multiple different things at once, I would highly encourage you to break that habit as soon as you can, to understand that your performance is at your best when you're doing one task at a time. We're not parallel processors, we're sequential processors, aka we can only do one task at a time. We're not actual multitaskers. Like I would say only 0.01% of the population could maybe multitask. According to my girlfriend, she's a good multitasker, but sometimes I don't always believe that, but I digress. The reason is that we want to commit to one thing at a time as best as possible. That's going to be the way to perform at your best, produce the best quality work you can within that certain task. So hopefully this helps, and hopefully this does help how you structure out your day. And if you want to have more help on how to structure your day, then leave a comment down this post, then I'll get right with you. We can schedule a call and we can connect further. So have a good one.